And you know when you come after the king, you know I'm a far back. You know that's in my character. I'm a far back. Yeah, you could put this under the category of a petty beef. A petty beef. I won't deny that. I'll own up to it. This is somewhat of a petty beef. But yeah, man, let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. Now, here's the deal, man. Y'all know in my very last video, it was called the top 5 dumbest and most highly invalid challenges I've had to my Mode 1 approach. I identified 5 of my most frequently made challenges to my Mode 1 approach. And if you remember challenge number 3 was Mode 1. I've had some people say Mode 1 only helps you attract and seduce women who are extremely kinky and or highly promiscuous type women. It would not have the potential to help you attract a woman that's classy, prudish or semi-prudish, monogamy oriented, and just generally a woman that's worthy of being a man's long-term girlfriend, fiance, or wife. That was argument number 3, is that Mode 1, basically in more simpler terms, I've had a lot of people argue that Mode 1 only benefits you with women that you plan on having nothing more than short-term, non-monogamous casual sex with. But when it comes to women that you're looking at as long-term girlfriend material and or future wife material, that Mode 1 is an ineffective approach. And when I was discussing that particular argument, I mentioned Steve the Dean Williams' name. Because honestly, he is one of the ones who voiced that argument. I want to say it was in fall of 2017. He was on O'Shea Duke Jackson's show. What happened? He was on O'Shea's show, and they were having, I think, what's called the Brother Pill show. And somebody called in and asked Steve the Dean Williams' opinion on my approach, which was a mistake right there. Why are you asking his opinion on my approach? But anyway, the caller asked Steve the Dean Williams, he said, what's your thoughts and opinions on Alan Roger Currie's Mode 1 approach? And Steve said, Alan's my boy. I like Alan. I respect Alan, but I gotta say this. He said, Mode 1 is cool if you just looking, I can't remember the exact words, but essentially he said, if you're looking for like a fuck buddy, just casual sex, he said Mode 1 is cool. That's why I have no problems with Mode 1. But he said, if you're looking to hook up with a woman for more than casual sex, something really long-term, romantic, like a girlfriend, a wife, he said, then that's why I got to criticize Mode 1. He said, with all due respect to Alan, I got to criticize Mode 1. Because Mode 1 is only really going to help you pull sluts. Mode 1 is only going to really help you pull women that are like slutty types. It ain't going to help you pull no good girl type, no wife material type, no girlfriend material types. And I did a video at the time where I fired back. I can't remember the title, so that's why I would have to remember the title before I can show the title of the video. But I remember it was in fall of 2017. So anyway, I mentioned that on my last video. So this nigga writes me a text message, call himself trying to threaten me. He said, bruh, I heard you was talking shit about me. I'm going to give you 24 hours to retract whatever criticisms and insults you threw my way. And if you don't, I'm going to do a live stream going in on you. Which, matter of fact, as I'm recording, he's still recording. If you go over this channel right now, unless he ended it before I get this uploaded, he's still doing it right now. But I was on this live stream for about the first 20 to 30 minutes. I dared him to give me the number so I could call in. He gave me the number. He let me call in. But then he kept muting me. I spent 2/3 of my phone time on mute. Then he brought this former pimp named Rosebudd Bitterdose on the phone. And Rosebud, now Rosebud, up until today, I'd always had respect for this brother. I never said nothing negative about him. He had never said nothing negative about me. Matter of fact, I specifically remember one time all three of us was on a Blog Talk radio show Steve had. And Rosebud he said, Alan, I have the utmost respect for you and your Mode 1 approach. Just shows you how motherfuckers change, don't they? How motherfuckers change, don't they? About 3 or 4 years ago, this motherfucker was expressing respect for me. Now he called himself dogging me out. So I'm going to get to some of the specifics. I'm ignoring some stuff, but I'm going to highlight a few things. Okay, since I brought up Rosebud, let's start with him. So we all three on the line. And Stevie Dean Williams just asked Rosebud. He said, Rosebud, from what I told you about Mode 1, what's your thoughts on Mode 1? And Rosebudd Bitterdose said, that's weak game for suckers. That's what he said. That's what Rosebudd Bitterdose said. He said, Mode 1 is weak game for suckers because you're being too transparent about what you want from women. And because of that, women will be able to play you because they know what you want from the get-go. Basically, in so many words, he was actually saying he promotes being indirect. I would argue he was basically promoting Mode 2. I wouldn't go as far as say he was promoting Mode 3, but he was promoting Mode 2, which would be being vague and ambiguous. Because he argued that if you too upfront and straightforward with women, it's like being in a card game and showing everybody your hand. I don't remember his exact wording, but essentially he was like, you never want to show a woman your whole hand because that puts you at a disadvantage. And a woman will be able to play you if she knows exactly what your specific objective is. Now, Rosebud, I'm going to take pleasure in doing this, brother. OG, insert dog face here. Yeah, OG, nigga. And then what you said didn't even make sense. That don't even make sense, man. That if you upfront, specific, and straightforwardly honest about your desires, interests, and intentions, that's going to put you in a position where women can play you. And the reality is it's just the fucking opposite, motherfucker. It's just the fucking opposite. It's just the fucking opposite, which is why I'm all about Mode 1. It's when you're vague and ambiguous when you can get played. That's when you can get played by manipulative time wasters. I ain't never get played being Mode 1, ever. Ever. I can't name one time that because I was Mode 1, a woman was able to like mislead me, manipulate me, and engage me in a bunch of manipulative head game. Now, I can't name one time that's happened. Not one time. So I don't even know what you're talking about. I can't even relate to what you said. Your criticism. It's a joke. And when I was telling you that, you start trying to overtalk me and yell on top of me. But that was a bullshit argument, man. You can't get played. I dare anybody. I want any of my followers, my loyal clients and subscribers to tell me about a time a woman was able to manipulate you when you was Mode 1. Please tell me. Please share with me a time when you was Mode 1 and it allowed a woman to be able to easily manipulate you and just play head games with you. It's impossible for a woman to play you when you Mode 1. But you can get hella played when you Mode 2 and or Mode 3. You can get hella played. But this brother Rosebud gonna say that his biggest criticism of Mode 1, he specifically called it, he said that's weak game for suckers because when you Mode 1, you're being too transparent about what your ultimate objective is, which makes it easier for women to toy with you and basically manipulate you and exploit you. Explain that to me like I'm a second grader. Rosebud. Man, this is interesting because y'all know most of the time on my channel, I'm usually going in on brothers younger than me. This is arguably the first brother I've had to go in on that's older than me. Rosebud, I want to say, is at least 10 years older than me, if not more. At minimum, I want to say he's like in his mid to late 60s, if not early 70s. But yeah, he gonna say that Mode 1 is weak game for suckers because it leaves you open to be manipulated. Explain. How? I've been Mode 1 for a minimum of 35 years. I ain't never had a woman be able to play me as a result of being Mode 1. Ever. Ever. You're dismissed, Rosebud. You're dismissed, bruh. Now, getting to Steve. Steve, I knew what he was going to do. Steve, he said a lot of things. I can't have the stuff he said. I can't remember. I'm going to highlight, I want to say at least 3 things. Number 1, he lied about me. He said that I have gotten on my YouTube channels and said or suggested that I was the first man in society ever to use direct verbal game with a woman. Insert dog face here. I give somebody $5 if they could prove that I've ever said that I was the very first man in human society to use direct verbal game with a woman. I've never said that. Because for starters, everybody knows one of the biggest inspirations for me coming up with my Mode 1 approach was me watching the 2 movies, Talk Dirty to Me and Talk Dirty to Me Part 2 with John Leslie as the prolific womanizer Jack. So if I was inspired by a porn movie where a guy was using direct verbal game, how would I even think about suggesting that I was the first man in society to ever use direct verbal game? That don't even make sense. I ain't never said that I was the first person. What I've said, as far as my place regarding direct verbal game, I said starting with the advent of the internet, I said I was the first person that I know of to write a book that highlighted the benefits of using direct verbal game as opposed to using indirect verbal game. That's what I said about myself. I never said I was the very first man to use direct verbal game with a woman. I said beginning with the advent of the internet, I said my book, Mode 1, which I first came out with in May of 1999, I said that was arguably the first ebook to come out that in detail explained the benefits of using direct verbal game with women as opposed to indirect verbal game with women. That's what I've always said. But I never said I was the first man like on planet Earth to use direct verbal game with a woman. So that was the most blatant lie that Steve Dean Williams told on his live stream today. What was another thing? Here's the most, again, just like I said, Rosebud gave me props about 4 or 5 years ago on a Blog Talk radio show. He gave me full props. Now he called himself, criticized me. Same with Steve. Man, there is nobody in the manosphere who's bugged me more about collaborating than Steve Dean Williams. Nobody. This nigga used to sing my praises. I remember literally just within the last year, he sent me a text message saying, I'm on my channel telling guys how good your game is and how strong your game is. Now today, because he mad at me, he talking about Mode 1 is weak and Mode 1. Here's what he said. He said, if you a real man, you don't even have to approach a woman and spit no game. If you a real man, women gonna come to you. if you a real man, women gonna come to you. Oh, really? Oh, really now? Oh, really now? And this nigga started talking about wine, having wine in your bedroom in a certain shower. He's talking about a real man has wine in his bedroom, and a real man has a particular shower head in his shower, and all this other stupid bullshit. So you a real man, huh, Steve? Huh? You a real man, Mr. House Husband? You a real man? With your wife, the breadwinner? You a real man? Is that what you are? Huh? Huh? Let's keep it real, bro. Let's keep it real, man. Everybody know you ain't nothing but a glorified house husband and have been for 20 years. Your wife is the breadwinner, bro. If your wife was to divorce you, you'd be homeless. You would be damn near homeless. You don't even know what it is to be a man, dude. Take care of yourself financially. Now, I give you props. I will give you props on the fact that you found a woman who was financially generous enough to take care of you. So I give you some credit on that. But don't ever lecture to me about no real man shit when you got a woman taking care of all your bills, paying for the house you live in. You ain't nothing but a glorified house husband, bro. And you lecturing me about being what it takes to be a real man? Nigga, please. Nigga, please. Spare me. I've heard you on the phone with your wife, bro. Don't deny it. I've heard you on the phone with your wife talking about yes, dear. Yes, dear. And you the lion of your household. Man, please, don't ever come at me, boy, about being a real man. Don't ever come at me. I know all your deep, dark secrets, bro. I know all your deep, dark secrets. Ever come at me talking about being what it takes to be a real man. Nigga, you ain't got no pussy other than your wife in over 20 years. You ain't got no pussy other than your wife in over 20 years. And you talking shit. And don't even think about just saying your mouthpiece on the level of mine. Nigga, we both know. We share at least one woman who we both had phone sex with. She told me the truth on your ass. She told me, I'm going to call him out. Since he wanted to talk shit about me. Yeah, man, about what was that? About 3 or 4 years ago, no more than 5 years ago. One of my phone sex partners, I let her have phone sex with Steve. And Steve got on the phone with her and was starting to have phone sex. And then my phone sex partner, she ended up calling me back like about 20, 25 minutes after that conversation supposedly started. I was like, damn, y'all done already? And she was like, no, sir, we're not done. What happened, he had to leave. I said, what do you mean he had to leave? She said, yeah, he was starting to have phone sex with me. But then he said, oh shit, I hear my wife coming. I got to get off the phone. I hear my wife coming. I got to get off the phone. And she said he got off the phone. Who's running that household? Who's running that household? Who's running that household? Why do you have to get off the phone? If he truly running shit like he tries to tell his listeners and viewers that he is, that he's running shit, that he's the king of the castle and the lion in the den, then why do he have to get off the phone? Huh? Why did he have to get off the phone? Because his wife was coming. Come on, man. And he gonna try to act like he more of a real man than me? Man, I ain't never got off the phone because a woman was in my place. Ever. Ever. So what else? What else is Steve Dean Williams, what I heard him say? Something specific. Well, he just basically said, if you're a real man, you don't need to have 4 different modes that you keep switching in and out of. He was basically like, his argument was, you either a real man or you're not. Yeah, whatever. Bruh, here's the fact of the matter. You said what you said on O'Shea's show. I quoted you on it in the story. I didn't lie about you. I can see if I get on a video and lied about you, that wasn't even a personal insult against you. I just told the truth about what you said, which is untrue. Because my brother credits Mo One for him hooking up with his now wife. And I've got clients that have gotten married because of Mo One. So I get somebody say that Mo One only works on slut types. Slut types. But again, the biggest thing that makes you look stupid is that, dude, no one I can think of in the manosphere has begged me to collaborate more than you. No one. Of all the people who have come at me with, Alan, I would like to collaborate with you, there is nobody who has come at me. Like, the last time I remember was back in 2018. You were like, come on, Alan, man, we need to do the Black Book Cafe again. We need to do the Black Book Cafe again. That's where I first connected with Steve, for those who don't know. The first time I ever did regular podcasting was me and Stevie D. Williams used to do a podcast called the Black Book Cafe. We did that from October of 2006 until April of 2007. Then we went to Blog Talk Radio. Now, I will give Steve this credit. He said one thing, if nothing else, that was true. He said, Alan, how dare you talk shit about me when I was the one who introduced you to Blog Talk Radio. You would have never had a successful show on Blog Talk Radio if I wouldn't have introduced you to Blog Talk Radio. That's true. So I give it to him on that. That's true. He was the one who introduced me. Yeah, he was the one who introduced me to Blog Talk Radio. We did a show on Blog Talk Radio for about a month and a half. We did a show on Blog. It was called Men on Dating. Men on Dating was the title of the show. And he was the host, and I was like his reoccurring guest co-host. And we did it the entire month of April and the first 2 weeks of May, and then we had a falling out, which is what led to me doing my own show. Yeah, we had a falling out because we were doing a show. And see, in case y'all don't know, Stevie Williams, he's toned it down in recent years. But Stevie Williams used to hate black women. I mean, like, hate them. Like, he had literally a passionate hatred for black women. Hated them. And we were doing a show together, and he made the comment, he said, all black women are no good bitches. All black women are no good bitches. Then he said, ain't that right, Mode? That's what he used to call me. Instead of Alan, he would call me Mode, as in Mode 1. He said, ain't that right, Mode? Like, he thought I was going to co-sign with that. I said, dude, I ain't co-signing with that shit. Are you crazy? And he's like, oh, so you ain't going to co-sign with that? I said, hell no, I ain't co-signing with that bullshit. I said, I love black women. And he said, okay, if you ain't going to co-sign with it, then you got to get your ass off my show then. And I said, okay, I'm out. And I got off his show because we were on air. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later is when I started my own show, which used to dominate his show in terms of listenership. Used to dominate his show on Blog Talk Radio. Because everybody knew who was dropping the real game. Oh, and my final note. Oh, here was one thing he said. He said, Mo 1 ain't really about game. Mo 1 ain't really about game. Mo 1 is just about saying straightforward shit to women for shock value. Mo 1 ain't really about game. Well, he's half right. He's half right. Now, as far as the shock value shit, that ain't true. I don't say straightforward shit to women just for shock value. But here's what I do say. But I did a video recently where I said Mo 1, the Mo 1 approach is not a seduction technique in and of itself. Mo 1 is not a seduction technique in and of itself. So, for the most part, he's right with that original statement when he said Mo 1 is not representative game designed to get women in bed. Mo 1 is about helping you identify my 5 archetypes of women, which is reciprocators, rejectors, wholesome pretenders, erotic hypocrites, and manipulative time wasters. That's what Mo 1 is for. The objective of Mo 1 is, number 1, help you overcome your fear of rejection. Number 2, help you overcome your fear of women's criticisms, women's insults, and just women's overall negative reactions and responses, which will open up the door for you to be more upfront, specific, and straightforwardly honest with women. And then once you're able to do that, you'll be able to quickly and effectively identify a reciprocator, a rejecter, a wholesome pretender, an erotic hypocrite, manipulative time waster. So Mode 1 is not it's not a seduction technique. It's not about game itself. If you want verbal game from me, you got to buy my book, Who Said Again. That's the book that's about verbal game. It's my book, Who Said Again. Mode 1 is just about helping you, again, overcome your fears and helping you identify those 5 archetypes of women. So that's one criticism I will at least halfway agree with. Mode 1 is not designed to get every woman you meet in bed. But I guess I got to go to the Menards, some hardware store, and get some wine, a wine thing for my bedroom, have wine on the bedroom, and get a new shower head and all that shit, and learn how to make women strawberry shortcake, which is your specialty, huh, Steve? That's game, boy. Wine, shower heads, and strawberry shortcake. Man, gotta learn that game. You goddamn right I'm the king of verbal seduction. A title you'll never come close to, motherfucker. Believe that shit, nigga.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, king. Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
But the king would fuck me really good.
Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.
I have to agree with you on the communication piece, because I actually did take a session with Alan Roger Currie, and he gave me a line that I did not think was going to work, and it worked. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my God!
Currie guys, man, he's the master. He's the master of the verbal seduction. He got that communication piece down pat.
It really worked. Yeah. It just simply worked, and I just didn't think it was going to work at all.
Some guys have natural handles. Some guys have a better natural shot, but you can always improve your shot. And sex is damn sure something you can fucking learn. Look, dude, you want to learn how to talk better? I'm hiring Alan Roger Currie to get my dirty talk game on, because it's always been something I want to get better at.
Verbal seduction, man. I'm like, clearly, this guy's the Michael Jordan of seduction. Like, you know, come on now.